Welcome to Illini Drive here on WPGU 1071. Ori Benatar back in the house with Will Gerard, Jake Hassan, and Tommy Polson. After a very, very busy Illini weekend, for myself, were you at the football game, Tommy? Were you covering?
No, I didn't want to go.
Don't blame me.
I was supposed to.
Rational decision. Right
then my
there,
stomach
folks.
was hurting. I wasn't feeling too good in the morning,
Gotcha.
and my parents didn't feel like coming either. So it was just like,
Yeah.
we ended up sending somebody else to get it for me.
Well, it was a very busy weekend for a lot of Illini reporters as we had the men's basketball opener Friday.
Whoa, slow down. Jake, what'd you do this weekend?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're referring to my face that is now bald, but yeah, didn't just took the decision to shave. I don't know. I was feeling it. I just like Saturday night.
You decided to shave during No Shave November?
Yeah.
I also
I
trimmed. I couldn't do it anymore. I was already
Yeah.
sick of it after like a
Yeah.
week and a
No.
half.
So Saturday I was sitting there. I was watching Harry Potter, and I was just like, the thought just popped in my head, and then I just didn't second guess myself. I just went for it. So
I will say you guys look very clean cut now. So
Thanks.
good luck.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
babe.
sir.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Will, you too?
Thank you.
Looking
Yeah,
good.
Will, you always
I need
look
a
good.
haircut.
Yeah,
that's
we
for
all
sure.
we all caved. Yeah, all of us. None of us lasted the month.
I'm not
Yeah.
capable of actually growing
I mean,
a beard.
okay, I've lasted the last 6 months, so
Okay, yeah, so
no,
See,
6
you
plus.
win. Yeah.
I can't do it to myself.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't have the patience for it. It gets too itchy.
Oh, the dinosaurs.
I had to do it before the game Friday.
I did go on a
Yeah.
podcast though to talk about baseball stuffs.
Cool. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more baseball stuffs later on in the show. But yeah, we had basketball on Friday, opening game where Illinois beat Southern, football on Saturday, Illinois losing to Indiana, and then basketball yesterday, Illinois narrowly beating UT Martin. And we're going to talk about men's basketball to begin this show. First game, Illinois looked like they were going to
Final Four.
yeah,
National
literally.
champs. is what
But
they
I
look
think
like.
to be looking at what happened in yesterday's game against UT Martin, I think the biggest thing we learned about the teams that Illinois played was Southern is really, really bad, honestly.
I don't think it's as much that is that this still is just such a young team, and like obviously they all clicked on day one, but it's not going to be that smooth the whole year.
Of course.
I mean, they're still adjusting to so much in terms of moving onto a college campus, in terms of playing college basketball. You know, it's so different for them right now, and like for them to show up in that game one was very impressive. I did not expect that much.
I didn't expect 53 points in the first half, 102-55 victory.
Yeah.
A lot of people contributed. He had 5 guys in double figures with Mark Allstork playing his first game with Illinois, 4 of 8, 9 of 10 from the line, 17 points. Aaron Jordan came off the bench with 17 points. Aaron Jordan's had 27 points in the first 2 games off the bench. He had 23 all of last season. He's been a huge impact, but
Good for him too.
yeah, and 34 of 37 from the line. Me and Ryan mentioned that a lot during the broadcast on Friday because it's just an insane free throw percentage. They shot 50 from the floor. The three-pointers have to improve. And it's not like they're not chucking really bad shots. They're getting open looks. Michael Finke, for example, Brad Underwood said yesterday he wants to see Finke shoot more, but you know, Finke was shooting well in mid-range, 5 of 8 in the first game, had a decent game yesterday, but was missing threes.
Well,
And he can
Friday
make those
night,
threes.
another thing that Underwood mentioned was that he thought that Mark Allstork had some really good looks and that if he had made a few more shots, he would have had a huge night scoring-wise. So I mean, a couple of those guys are capable of, like, making three-point shots. I think they'll start to fall after a while.
And it's still like early, like as we already mentioned, like these guys are still trying to figure out their rhythm and trying to click together. I think the real thing to watch is what happens in the next game. If they find like an in between these 2 games, or if they continue to play more like game 2 or more like game 1. So I think that's the real test.
If there was one bright spot, like the final 6 minutes of that first half, Illinois looked absolutely electric when they went on that
Amazing.
huge run.
Yeah, and it was a fun game to watch. Like, that's the first thing we all sort of realized watching that game against Southern with Brad Underwood's style of basketball. It was exciting to watch. It was exciting to call. It was exciting to tweet about and write about. It was just a fun game. Sundays had its moments where the offense looked really good. I mean, LaRon Black is money, mid-range shooting. Mark Smith is money when he drives.
I didn't know LaRon was that good from mid-range.
He's that good for mid-range.
You think in practice, give him 50 shots from like that corner spot? How many do you think he makes?
Like,
I say he-
baseline,
Yeah.
like 12-footer? Is that what you're talking about? Like a-
Yeah.
I think he makes 40.
You think it's only 40? I think it's higher.
Really?
I think it'd be like 45.
Wow. I mean, he just sinks those.
He just makes it look like it's nothing.
He's automatic. It kind of reminds me of Mike Davis. If you guys ever saw him play, the way he just knocked down those like baseline jump shots.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those handles he showed too.
Yeah, the
Oh,
nice
that's
behind the back.
I know like we can't cheer when we're out on the sidelines, but I was so hyped for that. I was like about to stand up.
I was in my living room. I stood up. I stood up off my couch. I couldn't believe what I just
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah,
It was
LaRon
the
Black.
slowest behind the back.
Oh, yeah.
handle
It
ever.
was very
so
slow,
smooth,
but it was
though.
very nice. Very nice.
I was pretty upset they didn't put that as the play of the game, and they gave it to
Yeah.
Trent's.
It'll-
Trent's was nice too.
That
Don't
little
get me
step
wrong,
back
but-
threes that you're talking about.
No, they gave it to Trent. So it was right after the 3 when he stole the ball and drove down.
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
that was
finish.
the play of the game.
That's what they put as the play of the game.
Interesting.
I mean,
I would have put
yes.
Laurent Blacks
Yeah.
behind the back. But that last 3 minutes of the first half was probably the best for the Illini yesterday, getting 3 straight threes. You know, Finke had hit one, Trent Frazier had hit one, not Demonte Williams hit one. I think All-Star
DeMonte did hit one.
He did hit one, but it was before this sort of stretch that the
Oh,
Illini
okay.
had at the end. It was Finke, Allstork, and Trent Frazier.
I think
Frazier
Jordan
had the nice
hit one. Did you
layup.
say Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan hit one in the
He had
second
the
half.
3-and-1.
Yeah, he was 2 of 5 from 3. I think he hit both of those in the second half. And then Laurent Black had the nice little behind the back scoop layup. Trent Frazier had a nice layup. That was probably the best the Illini looked yesterday. But the best the Illini looked in these 2 games was probably late in the second half against Southern. But in terms of the positives, you have to say that a lot of people are contributing. The first thing you think when you think of this team is no more Malcolm Hill. Who's going to step up to be that scorer? Well, almost every single person who got minutes on Sunday scored, and every single person who got on Friday, almost every single person who got minutes scored. All but 2 players didn't play in the game on Friday, and everyone who stepped on the floor for the Illini on Sunday pretty much scored, except for
Spicy G.
yeah,
Spicy
Ebo,
G.
because he came in for a 0.9 seconds
Yeah.
to stop the last shot, and he got the rebound on that one for defensive purposes. But if the Illini are going to want to beat DePaul on Friday, which is their first real test of the year, they cannot play like the way they did in the last 2.5 minutes on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I mean I think that's everybody would agree on that. And Underwood even said really in his press conference that he wasn't that like upset with the overall play of Sunday's game, but it's more just like a lack of energy, a lack of urgency. And I think my favorite quote from that press conference was like he was saying how he wanted to take everybody outside to learn how to fight for things and fight for the balls. And I think that's a really big thing because you see guys like right now with like Smith, like when he drives, he looks awesome right now.
Tremendous.
But he hasn't been aggressive. You know, like he's been very picky and like choosing in terms of when he wants to go for the ball, or Trent's the same way, and all these young guys are and the new ones. And I think if once they learn to get aggressive and like actually go for their shots and get on the ground on defense, like Finke dove twice on Sunday. Once they get that in their system, these guys are gonna be really good.
I feel that like as the season progresses, we're going to see the ball in Mark Smith's hands more
Yeah.
and more.
Absolutely. He's going to get more minutes. I think
I mean,
Aaron
there was a
Jordan's gonna get
stretch
more
there where
minutes.
he just took it all. Like,
Yeah.
There was a stretch, a couple minutes there where he just kept driving to the rim on his own.
He's unbelievable at making
His
contested
finishing in the
layups.
paint's unbelievable.
He's
yeah.
real strong. So, I mean,
Yeah, Sunday they had to
Low-key thick.
They drove a lot
His
in
shoulders
traffic.
are massive
Yeah,
too.
he's a big dude.
He's a big. They're all big dudes for the most.
All-Star's huge too.
They're all huge. I mean, they're college Big Ten basketball players.
Yeah, we say like it's breaking news. Like
Yeah, no,
college
they're-
athletes
They're
are
all
big guys.
giant. I mean, I stood next to Mike Thorne as a freshman 2 years ago, and I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa.
What
I've
was
never,
that like?
Oh my! I was like, hi, Mike. How you doing?
so is he like
I
twice
know.
your size?
He's 6'11", and I'm 5'4".
Do you like pick you up and just like a little baby?
Yeah, basically.
Did he dunk you?
He probably could have dunked me. Yeah, I've never been dunked on, and I've never been dunked myself.
I was dunked on once.
Really
Not a good time.
That it doesn't sound like fun.
Forget his name. He
Yeah.
played D1 somewhere.
And
Very, very large.
Tommy,
Can jump high.
Tommy's definitely the guy that would like etch a person's name who dunked it on him in like his brain. So I'm very surprised you
his
can't
little
remember.
black
Yeah. I can't think of who.
I'm
it
surprised
was.
like it doesn't
It was
keep you up at night.
It's kind of crazy because like back when I was younger, our grade school team, we were really good for like a grade school, like Catholic League team. And like our coach would put us in like AAU tournaments with like actual travel AAU teams, and we would do pretty
So
well.
you
in
got
them.
dunked on in grade school?
Yes. It was yeah, we were in 8th grade. This dude was like somebody who's about to go to Simeon, like about to go throw down on some
Okay,
guys.
then
Like
that's fine.
Yeah, it was acceptable, I think. Like I was a center at the time, back in the days when I was a man child over everybody.
Wow.
I
But
feel that.
yeah.
I feel that.
You're listening to Illini Drive here on WPGU 107.1, brought to you by the Illinois Fighting Illini. For tickets and info on the Illini, visit fightingillini.com or call 1-866-Illini-1. Again, that's fightingillini.com or call 1-866-Illini-1 for more ticket information. Something I wanted to mention about Underwood was he yells a decent amount on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not really, I mean, he yells at the refs, but a lot of the time he's yelling to his players to take open shots.
Yeah.
Because Mark Smith, Michael Finke, they weren't shooting as much. Mark Smith was 4 of 10. Finke only took 8 shots, and he's supposed to be like the second leader of the team in terms of scoring and rebounds. He had 5 boards, 12 points, If Michael Finke takes more shots, though, he could be a 20-point scorer.
As I was going to say, I think Finke should be shooting the ball at least 15 times a night because he's that accurate. He's that good with his shot. He's that good where he can score from anywhere on the floor. And, I mean, once you have him taking threes, then he opens up down low, vice versa. You know, he's one of those guys that's going to be so hard for other teams to guard if he gets aggressive and gets those shots going. So, like, I think that he's definitely somebody that should be fed the ball more.
Mm-hmm. I need the hair from last year back, though.
He needs the combo,
I need the half up, half down.
Yeah.
I need it more than I need to breathe.
You needed more than 15 Michael Finke shots, right?
Yes. I mean, I think once the hair comes back, the shots come back. It's as simple as that. Simple math,
go.
folks.
Look good, feel good, play good. I mean,
There you go.
science.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the Illini looked pretty good in these 2 games. The biggest weak point, though, was probably turnovers yesterday and then only hitting 10 threes out of like 40 that they shot. Not a lot do you see a team shoot under 20% from 3 and then win a game in this basketball nowadays because it's just so much about the 3-point line. But it makes sense because Underwood's style of offense is transition, breakaway, fast pace, get to the lane, score, just get closer to the basket to make shots. Will's taking a pic. What are you doing?
I'm the social media guy.
That is true because Jade's not here.
Will's just putting in work behind the
shaven,
desk.
Illini Drive guys over there.
My left side's not my good side, though. Get me straight on.
Okay, I'll get you during the break.
Okay,
How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
I guess we'll take it during the break.
My left side's not great.
Yeah, only 2 more shows before Thanksgiving break. So I guess taking a look at the rest of the Illini men's basketball schedule, over the break it's only going to be 4 games, and they're all going to be at home. DePaul, Marshall, Augustana, and NC Central.
It's Augustana.
Augustana.
Yeah.
3-1, 4-0, 2-2.
I said it before. I'll say it again. I think we're undefeated going into Northwestern. So I have to see. I'm pulling up this.
I like it. I'm with that.
I don't see us. Wake Forest hasn't looked very good so far. Marshall is the only team that they beat Southern as well in overtime. Or not Southern. They beat UT Martin in overtime in their first game. DePaul doesn't scare me. They hung in there with Notre Dame a little bit, but I don't want to talk about Notre Dame right now. And then Augustana, they're good for D2, but I don't think they're good enough to come in and compete with D1 level athletes all game. And then NC Central, don't know much about them. Don't scare me.
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, again, they haven't looked great so far.
I feel like this week between games is actually a really good thing because they get to look at those 2 games, kind of look at like the end of yesterday's game for first and foremost, I think, and then work on a lot of things. Not a lot of things, actually. I mean, like we said, they've looked pretty good.
Turnovers.
Just hitting shots.
Right, just working on the stuff that they need to and then come out hard against DePaul.
Fighting each other in the parking lot a little bit.
Maybe
Also
trying
to get out of a press because UT Martin was running a press and a 2-3 zone during that time.
Underwood mentioned that they need to work on going against the zone and especially the press, like in the zone form, because he was just saying there's way too many turnovers like that.
I'm confident. They got a lot to work with. They got a lot to work with before this next game. It's good.
Bottom line, though, it's exciting, Illini basketball. I think it's an exciting time because this is a fun team to watch. There's a lot of interesting players that have a lot of specific skill sets that are really interesting to watch. I say they'll go 3-1. I think they either lose to DePaul or NC Central. My original pick, I had them beating DePaul and losing to NC Central. I might flop those after the way DePaul played against Notre Dame. They played okay against the Fighting Irish, and the Illini struggled a bit. But again, I agree with Jake's point about how that time off is going to help them a lot. Watch that game film, especially the one against Southern. It'd be nice to for them to be like, hey, that play-by-play announcer, he did an okay job.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that, and then BTN Plus was just threw me for a loop there.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for that.
You had to pay for it, yeah. And I saw, and I'm like, you're not going to pay to watch your host call a game?
Ori, I don't have that kind of money.
And you know what? That's fine. I totally respect that decision because you would have to pay a
I saw some of the clips that the men's basketball team's Twitter page was posting, and then I just played it on loop so I could hear your voice.
You played it? Okay.
I'm putting together film for you. I'm putting together a scouting report. Things for you to work on.
Great. Well, I have to do that. I have to do that myself. I have to make a resume reel. If you do it for me, that'd be fantastic. It saves me a lot of time.
How much you paying?
How much I'm paying? We'll discuss that at the break.
All right.
There we go. But when we come back for Illini Drive.
This big Segway guy over here.
Big Segway guy, yeah. I would love a Segway. That seems like a good tool to have.
Segways just you don't.
Well,
I feel like that was another dad joke from Ori.
No, but the reason I want a Segway now is because I'm
Makes you look taller?
I'm far away from some of my places, and also I can't unlock my bike right now.
You should get one of those like skateboards that's like a motor on it.
Oh
I'm getting
yeah.
a scooter for next year for sure.
Ooh, what about a ripstick?
I see people with rollerblades also. So there's a lot of different different transportation.
Talking
methods.
transportation,
if you
folks.
go
Talking
if
transportation.
you go rollerblades,
You're a maniac if you go.
yeah,
that's
like,
true.
That's
Yo, Healy's the only way to go.
All right.
true. Bring them back.
Or we're looking real smooth out there on them Healy's, boy.
Yeah. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the Dad's Day football game and also discuss a little bit about what could happen in Columbus on Saturday when the Illini take on the
Illini
Buckeyes.
win.
All that and more, we return to Illini Drive right here on WPGU 1071.
You're watching Illini Drive on Urbana Public Television. Tune in Monday nights at 6 p.m. to listen live on WPGU 1071.
Back to Illini Drive here on WPGU 1071. Ori Benatar back with Will Gerard, Jake Hassan, and Tommy Polson. Shifting from Illini basketball to Illini football. 8 straight losses now as they lost on Dad's Day this Saturday against Indiana 24-14. More and more injuries for the Illini as Cam Thomas did not play on Saturday. Jeff George Jr. took every single snap. And the Illini, the score doesn't tell the story once again because Illinois had a really just dreadful first half. It was really bad.
It was gross.
I thought it was going to be like a 6-0 game. I thought it was going to be Super Big Ten. And it was Super Big Ten. There was a million punts.
Yeah, Blake Hayes had 11 punts.
Good for Blake Hayes, MVP.
Yeah, literally. He's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy too, so good for him.
And he's Australian.
Being Australian is a big advantage for a lot of things. You know, you have the accent, you have the punting skills. So, yeah, shout out to Blake Hayes. But,
Punter from down under.
yeah. Is there any way Illinois wins another game?
No.
Yes. We're beating Ohio State. I've said it all year. We're doing it.
Good luck. Yeah, Illinois is 38-point underdogs against Ohio State.
love it.
And some people said that that's
Make it 45.
generous. Make it 45. And what happens? Illinois wins by 45?
Yeah. Reverse the spread.
Okay, so you're telling me that Illinois, without Cam Thomas potentially.
We don't know that.
Okay, we don't know that. But definitely without Bonner, without Dudek, without Malik Turner, without Tony Adams, without Epstein, you know, without all the impact players, even maybe no Bennett Williams. He missed the game for breaking a team rule. We don't know how much that's going to extend to. Jalen Dunlap got a bit banged up. Jamal Milan got hurt during the game on Saturday. You're saying Illinois will beat? I
don't know if you're familiar from 1980 in the Olympics. There's a team called the Soviet Union who's phenomenal at hockey. Great team. Some say the best ever. Vladimir Tretiak, the best goalie in the world. And you know who they were playing? They were playing a team full of college players in the United
lost.
States of America. Listen, they were playing a team full of college players from the United States of America. Everybody said there was no chance, no way that USA would win that game. And you know what happened then? Miracle.
Yeah,
You ever seen the movie Miracle, Ori?
I have. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, that's what we're getting on
right.
Saturday.
Those teams played 100 times.
Yeah,
Toby took them out top 99 times, but just that one time.
that's what I'm saying.
All right, give me your pep talk for the Illini against
I
Ohio
just
State.
gave it to you.
You gave me miracle.
That was it.
That was it. You
Here.
gave me miracle.
All right, well, I'll read one. Hold on.
Okay, so while Tommy's looking to,
Do you guys have any questions Ori should ask Lovey when he has his one-on-one opportunity with him?
Yeah,
after that
I will be covering
50-point
the game
beatdown?
because I'll be back
I
home.
mean, I can just read the Miracle speech. I have an edited version that I wrote for a hockey game.
How about we'll have you we'll record it and we'll have you
That
talk
needs
about
to be
it.
video content.
I think that'd be a
Eli
great- that'd be a
needs
great
to put
bump.
you reading that out.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll go full suit and everything.
Eli
I'll hold the
needs-
newspaper in my hand, smacking it the whole time.
oh
Yeah.
my.
So yeah, we're getting. So I'll take the director credits on this. I'll write the movie, I'll direct it and everything for Miracle 2 when we win on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean it is
Miracle
27.
2, the horseshoe.
It is 10 years after Illinois did beat Ohio State at the shoe. We mentioned this a lot of
A
times.
lot of
but
setup.
Now it's here. The weekend's here. Last time Illinois played Ohio State was here. They lost, I think, 28-3 or something. It was pretty lopsided back when JT was the starting quarterback, but Braxton Miller and Cardell Jones were both on the team 2 years ago. It's the first time we have a Lovie Smith v. Urban Meyer game in college, so that's kind of cool. But it'll be an interesting game nonetheless. I mean, the biggest thing looking at it is how many rushing yards is Ohio State going to be able to get against Illinois' defense with J.K. Dobbins and Mike Weber. It could get up to 400, I think. And with J.T. Barrett.
No.
400 is generous.
For generous, really. You think how high can it go? 600, 500?
no,
600.
Yeah.
He's
I-
saying 400 is too
yeah.
much.
Oh,
like
too
too
much.
high,
Fine.
yeah.
So what are you saying? 250, 350? So
Again, this is the miracle game, though.
this is the
We're
miracle.
talking under 100. No, we'll let them run all game. It's just going to be bend, don't break, though. No touchdowns.
No touchdowns.
They can get 500 yards if they want. I mean, I'm cool with that.
But they're just going to get field goals the whole game, is what you're saying.
Field goals, a couple blocked field goals, a few punts.
So just so we can get this on the record, you think 400 rushing yards?
I think it's possible. I think it's very possible.
So that you think that's like the ceiling. What do you think's actually like going to be it? If you had to predict.
I actually think it's going to be 400.
Okay.
Yeah, with Weber, with Dobbins, with Barrett.
400
400. Not even, but low 400s or high 380s.
18.3.
Between 375 and 415. That's my range
Okay.
for rushing yards. I think Ohio State is able to get that against Illinois for this Saturday. But since it's close to the end of the season, I was thinking maybe we talk a little bit about looking forward to next season and who to watch out for. Who is kind of the players of the year? Blake Hayes, player of the year? Is it?
It's him or Bennett Williams.
Yeah.
Bennett Williams has probably been the best player all year consistently between both sides. I mean, if Epstein played all year, he probably would have been in the conversation. But unfortunately, the quarterback play has been pretty rough. So it was tough for the receivers out there. I mean, you hate to see this for guys like Mikey and Malik.
Yeah,
but
it's too bad for Dudek to get injured again. That's tough after those two injuries.
do we know what happened to him?
We don't know exactly what.
Because I remember
injury
the
was.
last time I remembered seeing it was against Wisconsin. He went down, but it ended up just being that he had like a shocker. He lost his win or whatever, and then he came back in, but then he left later that game, and I don't think we've seen him since then. But I had never really got a feel for what had actually happened to him.
Yeah, no one really knows exactly what the injury was, but he's likely out for the remainder of the season, is what Lovey is telling us,
Yeah.
is what a bunch of the other people are writing about. So, and Malik Turner being out too. Ricky Smalling and Lewis Dorsey are being
Dorsey looked good last week.
Dorsey looked very good. Dorsey had that nice
He's gonna be a
77-yard
stud.
touchdown. He will be a stud. But the question is whether or not Lovey Smith wants to try and add blocking into his skill set, because he's really a pass-catching, fast tight end.
Yeah.
Whether he wants to maybe have Dorsey gain a couple pounds to be able to block a little bit more in the line, because Illinois does need the blocking. But I think the offensive line is better next year because you have a core group of freshmen. 4 freshmen on the offensive line right now. They've been playing together consistently for the last 9 games almost. And I think they're going to be a lot better. But I think it'd be helpful to have a tight end that can block too and pass catch in Dorsey. So I think that would be an interesting decision. I don't know. I mean,
The quarterback battle's going to be really
quarterback's
interesting
battle is
next
going to be
year.
between Cam Thomas and Karan Taylor. I think Cam Thomas.
You can't leave out MJ Rivers, I don't think either.
Okay, but
He's like the Texas player of the year right now. He looks like a stud.
I think Cam Thomas is going to start
Yeah?
opening day. Yeah,
I think it might be MJ.
I'm
originally,
with Tommy on that.
I originally thought it was Karan Taylor. Like, I thought he kind of looked like the lock, and kind of down the road, based on what I'm hearing, he looks to be like he could be the best out of this group. But I think right now, the way MJ Rivers is playing, based on like what I've seen, what I've read of him, he looks like he's ready to step in and like take over this offense.
I think Cam's going to start week 1 just because of like seniority and knowing the system.
it'll be like how Chase Crouch started. Game
Right.
one.
But I think it'll only be for. I don't think Cam starts past week 2. I think after that, either Taylor or Rivers. I'm with Tommy. I give the edge to Rivers over Taylor right now.
Yeah, and the conference and non-conference schedules for the Illini look pretty similar. I mean, non-conference they're playing Kent State, Western Illinois, and then in Chicago against South Florida. No Ohio State next year, no Michigan next year, no Michigan State. They do play Penn State at home on September the 21st, but that's going to be without Barkley, so Penn State might get a little worse. But I think Penn State will still be like a top 10 team next year. At Wisconsin, hosting Iowa. I mean, their schedule looks like it'll be easier than this year, but even this year's schedule, to be fair, they have played. They're going to end the season playing 3 ranked opponents in their last 5 games. You have to include Iowa and South Florida. They've played a lot of teams that are in the top 25 currently and have been over the last couple weeks. But the schedule next year looks like it'll be
Marginally easier.
yes. Non-conference is easier. Kent State and Western Illinois are going to be easier games than Ball State and Western Kentucky, which were close battles. South Florida might be a little bit closer, but I don't expect it to be close, considering it's in Chicago. Different, atmosphere. South Florida is going to be a very similar team. But I think also the Illini just can't afford to get this many players injured next season if they want to be more successful. I think the injuries play a huge part in the 2-8 record. Huge part.
Yeah, I mean, once they start piling up. I mean, it's a mountain of injuries at this point.
yeah.
And they're all. It's not like just depth guys that are getting hurt. It's key players. So
It's all the key players.
It's literally every single key player on this team. Epstein, Dudek, Turner, Bonner, all of them. And the defense is not excluded there either. So I think once everyone gets healthy, this team has time to gel together, get healthy together. They'll be back next year and they'll be a lot better than they currently are.
We'll definitely talk more football in the spring, which is a while from now. It's going to be a while from now, but
it's already November.
Yeah, I know. Last 2 football games, we're not going to be in town for them since we got Ohio State in Columbus this Saturday, and then the week after that, the final game of the season against the Northwestern Wildcats. If the Illini want to equal or improve on their record from last year, they would have to win one or both of these games, but Ohio State and Northwestern are currently both ranked. So they are tough tasks, even though Tommy believes the miracle is going to happen.
Do you believe in miracles, Rory?
I do.
It's going to happen.
Not in this one in particular, as we're going to take another break here. When we come back, we'll get a quick little score update from what's happening around the sporting world, and then we'll have our final thoughts right here on Illini Drive on WPGU 107.1.
You're watching Illini Drive on Urbana Public Television. Tune in Monday nights at 6 p.m. to listen live on WPGU 107.1.
Woo, back to Illini Drive here on WPGU 107.1. Ori with Will, Jake, and Tommy. Quick little score update. The Chicago Bears suffered their 6th loss of the season against the Green Bay Packers yesterday, 23-16. Chicago Bulls are back in action on Wednesday. They're going to be taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Bulls are 2-9. Yesterday in hockey, the Blackhawks lost to the New Jersey Devils 7-5.
3-goal lead. It's gross.
Yeah, they gave up 4 unanswered goals, and we got plenty of college basketball that's going to be coming up throughout the week, including 2 top 10 matchups tomorrow. Duke's going to play Michigan State in Chicago, and then right after that in the United Center will be Kentucky against Kansas, and Monday Night Football tonight will be in Carolina as the Panthers host the Miami Dolphins. As we're going to go now to final thoughts, we're going to begin with our producer, Will Gerard, today, and I mentioned the Bears score. Bears are bad.
Yeah, feel free to chime in here, guys, but I just got to vent for a second because I still cannot believe what happened with there was a play, for anyone who missed it, there was a play where Cunningham had the ball and he was going down the field, he dove for the pylon, and it was ruled that he was out of bounds on the field. So John Fox and the Bears staff decided to review the play. And then upon further review, it was determined that Cunningham had actually fumbled the ball through the end zone. So the ball went to the Packers, and it was a touchback. And, I'm still baffled by this because, for one, I didn't even know you could, shoot yourself in the foot like that on a replay review. And just, the fact that that they would challenge a play like that when it would have been 1st and goal anyway just baffles me. It just seems like every single week with this Bears team, there's just something crazy that happens, and it just shows how this team lacks I don't know what to say. I mean, it's they lack structure, organization. Just I'm so done with John Fox. I loved Mitch Trubisky. He's the future. I put my faith in 10 God, but other than that,
they lack a head coach as well.
It's painful to watch. I thought things were gonna get better with John Fox. It's he did really well in Denver. They'll have their defense is okay, I guess.
The defense is really good.
Fangio's legit. Fangio's a great coordinator.
The defense is very good.
So they've got that going.
They've got
for
a top 10 defense.
Yeah,
Vic Fangio is a great D coordinator.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, he's not going to be the head coach because that's not his style. I don't think he even wants it. But I really thought Gase was going to get promoted and Fox was going to get fired a couple years ago. But Trubisky had his best game of the season.
What do you think was more preposterous? The play where there was the Bears player who fumbled at the 1 yard line on the blocked field goal, or do you think it was the staff deciding to review this play?
Oh, Marcus Cooper against the Ravens? This was worse because at some point someone has to pull you. So the video guys have to be better than that.
Someone should lose their job.
If there's even a risk of that, you can't take that chance. So I'm sure someone said, John, don't challenge this. It's too risky, and he's like, no, I'm gonna do it. So they just need him to go. He's too conservative. Finally, Trubisky had his best game of the season, which was awesome. He aired it out 35 times, but
I mean, even on that last drive, I thought Trubisky looked really good.
Yeah,
there
he
was
did.
a play where he had I don't know.
He just
who
has no
threw it to,
receivers.
but exactly. There's
Josh
no one for him to throw
Bellamy.
it to.
Josh Bellamy was targeted 7 times, had 2 catches. Like that just can't. I mean, Trubisky's making the throws too. I mean, I was watching.
He's got a strong arm.
Yeah, I mean, I
hose.
was watching the game. Iman had a couple hit his hands that should have been catches. Bellamy had several that should have been catches. So I mean, the receiving core is not doing him any favors. Iman looked good, but he's not a number 1. So I mean, Mitchell can make the throws. It's just getting people around him that can catch the ball. So.
It was just frustrating because this was one of those games where it's like, all right, no Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
the Bears will actually beat the Packers at home this week. Not the case.
The defense didn't show up either, though. They had a bad game.
Yeah, Bears are now 0-3 in the division.
They'll still beat the Browns though.
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah, they'll beat the
Not a
Browns.
question
They'll beat
about
the
that.
Niners. They might beat the Bengals.
I don't know. Jimmy G's going to be starting by then for the Niners.
Yeah,
so.
but as long as the Browns get their
also has
one
to be
win of the
starting.
season against the Bears, it'll be a successful year for a Cleveland Browns fan. That's
Don't
all
get
it
your
is.
hopes up, bud.
It's not gonna happen. My hopes are way
0-16
down.
seasons are tight though.
I know. I can't wait for 0-16. Let's go to Jake's final thought. More baseball from Jake, of course, as he wants to discuss. First award winners were announced, and also everyone's talking about Giancarlo and where he's going to land.
Well, in the least surprising news ever, Judge and Bellinger won Rookie of the Year
Gasp.
unanimously.
Oh, man.
Absolutely least surprising news ever.
Really quick, do you think in any other year Ian Happ has a shot? I don't know if he played enough games really, but he
Who was the other finalist? I know DeYoung was the other finalist in the NL.
Young was good.
And Josh Bell, right? I
Yeah.
think Josh Bell would have won it anyway.
Okay.
Because Hap didn't play enough.
Yeah.
Josh Bell played every day.
Yeah.
And he just had better average and on base than Hap. Hap had the power, but no, I don't think Hap wins it this year, regardless of Bellinger. I think he would have been a finalist.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of asking.
Yeah, I think he would have been a finalist. I don't think he would have won it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on Giancarlo, I need the Cardinals to get him more than I need to breathe. Like, I need it so bad. They need him. They need a star. They don't have a superstar. They haven't had one since Pujols in 2011. Since he left, there's not been a superstar there. There have been good players. There have been all-stars. But there hasn't been anyone that, like, you really gravitate towards. So, I mean,
what do the Cardinals have to offer that would be better than what Boston or San Francisco has to offer?
the Cardinals have far and away a better system than both Boston and San Francisco.
So they would offer prospects.
Prospects probably. Or, I mean, yeah, it would have to be prospects because Boston would easily be willing to take more money. San Francisco has a light-ish payroll too, so it'd have to be money and prospects. The Cardinals... Miami has no good pitching prospects. They have JT Realmuto, they have Justin Bour, they have good position players, obviously Yelich and Ozuna too. So they need pitching, and the Cardinals have a lot of really good top-end pitching. Jack Flaherty, Luke Weaver. They're not going to give up Alex Reyes, but, I mean, they have a lot of really good pitchers who could be number 2, number 1 guys.
Do you think he ends up in St. Louis? Because it seems like to me he's leaning towards Boston.
There's a lot of smoke around St. Louis, so I think there's got to be some fire. I just don't think Boston has that much to offer outside of money. And I think if St. Louis or San Francisco comes in with prospects and money, then I think Miami takes that deal more so. Because they're also going to try and get rid of D. Gordon and Martin Prado, who also have big salaries. So, and they just want to get down to $90 million.
Yeah, Jeter wants to do an overhaul. He
Right.
wants to rebuild.
But, I mean, it would be funny if Jeter traded his franchise cornerstone to Boston. Like, that'd be kind of
Yeah, that'd be ironic.
But I also think Boston likes JD a little more. I don't know.
You also were mentioning Arrieta might go to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want him. If it was
I
like
hope the Cardinals do it because it just shows how stupid
Yeah.
that organization is.
I know because literally, the Cardinals need.
I love my boy Jake, but you guys are going to pay him so
Right.
much
It would
money,
be-
and it's going to be hilarious.
It would be a gross, disgusting overpay.
Yeah.
I mean, because his agent is Scott Boras. He's going to
Yep.
want about $150 million, I think.
Yep.
It's somewhere in the 130 to 150. And if the Cardinals
I hope that
pay him
happens so
that,
much.
that would be the most preposterous thing ever.
It'd make me so happy.
Because then what would happen is the Cubs would go and get Lance Lynn, and Lance Lynn would have a better year over the next 3
Yeah.
years. Is exactly what would happen.
I
It would
love
be
it so much. And then we're going to
ridiculous.
get Bryce, and then it's going to be so beautiful.
It would be so.
Oh, I
brutal.
love it.
Yeah, once December
Stupid
hits,
organization.
I think baseball offseason really starts to heat up. So can't wait for December.
Winter meeting's going to be sweet.
Yeah,
Winter
meetings
meetings are
will
going to be
fun.
really good.
Let's go now to Tommy's final thought. Wants to talk a little NBA and college football.
Obviously, as you all very well know, my boys, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, took a big L this weekend. I I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. 41-8.
Not that much.
Not like that.
No.
I thought it'd be a good game. I thought that they would pull it out, but obviously it didn't go that way. I will officially declare the U is back. And the thing is, any other year, I really do kind of like Miami. They've always been exciting. The U 30 for 30s are unbelievable. They're two of my favorites. I think they're really fun. There's been a lot of cool players that have come through there. And really with the other top 4 teams, it's Bama, Oklahoma, and Clemson. I'd love to see Miami come out and win it again. You see part 3 of the U starting again here? I would love that.
Wait, since you mentioned it, can I just let you know that the 30 for 30, where it's like the Miami Notre Dame rivalry
Catholics
from the
versus
Notre
convicts.
Dame perspective, that
Yeah.
30 for 30 stinks.
It did. I agree.
It's terrible.
As a Notre Dame fan, I think it was
Okay,
horrible.
I'm glad we're on the same page
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
it
at
was
least.
not. It was not good.
Just not well done.
I thought it was gonna be really cool. The commercials.
A lot of
for it were
interesting
all sick.
characters. I mean,
Yeah,
like
it was more or
Jimmy
less just about.
Johnson.
It was more or less just about selling the shirts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Blocking them.
I didn't like feel any sympathy for that guy by the end of it. Really.
No, yeah, it was a dumb 30 for 30. But you, 100% back. I hope they win it all.
I'd love to see the turnover chain in the national championship.
It'd be electric.
I think
I
that's
mean,
the only reason that they
They'll
win, I
get
think.
they'll get
Mark
the
Richt
ratings.
is really
yeah.
cool too. Like they've got some cool players.
I just don't see 2 ACC teams in the playoff. No way.
I think once Richt went there, we knew like it was
Yeah.
going to be a quick turnaround.
yeah,
Richt
we all
was
thought
legit.
USC was back, but it's the U instead. USC
Yep.
still hasn't been able to get back to their former glory.
Yeah.
So the U's back. Also, Porzingis is
Oh
back.
yeah,
and
we're
better
talking
than
my
ever.
boy, the unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. Pencil him in for the MVP right now. This man is scoring 30 points a game. He's got 3 blocks a game, an assist, and 7 rebounds. That's unbelievable. The
Amazing.
Knicks stink, and he's somehow got them to a 7-5
They're not even.
record.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
They're not that
Like,
bad. They
because of
beat
him. Because of him.
They
Right.
beat the
It's
Cavs.
all because of him.
Yeah.
And like the
Well,
fact
also the
is, like
Cavs are dead,
it's
so
crazy
awful.
that like Melo held him back this much before because Melo obviously dominated that team. But seeing him like loose and be able to do his thing and be like the sole star of this team, he looks great.
Tremendous.
He definitely improved over the offseason too.
He definitely got better. There's no denying that.
I
but-
kind of wish the Knicks had gotten Bledsoe because Bledsoe
man.
feeding passes to Porzingis would have been electric.
And he's only 22 still.
I know he's gonna be incredible.
He has the face of a grown man though, like a 28-year-old man.
I
He's
cannot.
also 7'3", 240 pounds,
Yeah,
and more or
and
less plays
he's-
point guard.
And he shoots threes, and
Yeah.
his shooting percentages are nuts.
He's
right?
so cool.
He's shooting 41% from 3, 51% from the floor, and 84% from the line.
Imagine a team with like, this is so outrageous, but Kristaps, Larry Markkinen, and Dirk like together.
And Jokic.
oh
and
my
Ya-
god,
give
that
me
would be
the
so
la-
fun.
the lankiest.
Give me like the all Euro team.
The All-Euro team is
Oh,
like
it'd be
Giannis,
so
Jokic,
cool.
the lankiest, most
Kristaps.
European
man.
guys ever. Just
Yeah, but
all
they-
on one
that
team.
team would be
would be
unstoppable.
Yeah, no,
incredible.
no, I'm not
Oh,
disagreeing with
Every
you.
single rebound
But
would go their way.
Just imagine seeing
Trade
that team-
every other asset, play 3-on-5 and or 5-on-5. Don't even have a bench. Have those 5 play. They're winning 10 straight NBA championships.
Giannis and Porzingis on the same team, just the two of them. Oh my God, that would be incredible.
Dirk would be
Oh,
the
man.
Dirk would be the 3rd or 4th best option.
I mean,
on
if
that
you-
team, which
I
is
mean,
We
excellent.
could realistically see this in an All-Star game.
Yeah, we could.
True.
Giannis and Porzingis, Jokic
With
with
Lowry.
Lowry, yeah.
Yeah.
It's doable. I'm really
is
excited.
doable.
Oh,
That would
man,
be-
that would be so fun.
Yeah, the European players are really dominating the NBA now. But if on 2K you put a prime Dirk with Porzingis,
God.
Jokic, and Giannis, and then Lowry,
Even Dirk now, I feel like could still
Dirk's
hang with
still-
these
he
guys.
can still ball.
Dirk's
yeah.
still good. Yeah.
He'd still drop 10.
But best player
15
on
game.
Dallas right now might be Dennis Smith Jr. He's starting to play
Yogi
really
Ferrell
well.
looks alright too.
Yogi Ferrell looks pretty
Yeah,
good.
shout out to Big Ten boys.
I think Kristaps minimum is getting second team All NBA. If he keeps up at this pace, he'll be in the MVP conversation and be the best power forward. In
I mean,
the
who's
league.
been better?
Giannis maybe.
Giannis
Giannis,
maybe.
yeah.
Harden, I think, has had a better season too.
Harden's got that chip on his shoulder.
This is
Yeah.
the
Harden
Latvian-
wants
Harden's
the
it.
playing
Latvian
really
gangster,
well.
as Michael Rappaport
But
says.
yeah, Porzingis is like a fan. I mean, a lot of
Go
fan
ahead.
favorite players, and it turns
ahead.
out that they're all European.
Yeah,
and they're all
awesome.
just tremendous
They're so
players
cool.
with so much skill
Shout
set.
out Latvia.
Yeah, Latvia.
There are about to be a lot more scouts going over to
Oh,
Latvia.
yeah, a lot more scouts going to Serbia. I mean, Serbia has always been a basketball,
Greece.
Yeah, Croatia too, Greece. There's another Antetokounmpo coming, and some people say he could be better than Giannis, which
That'd be
is like,
unbelievable.
scary. I think that's Thanasis.
Doesn't he go
or
to? He goes to
Kostas.
Dayton, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think there's
Really?
there's 3 Antetokounmpo brothers.
The middle one, I don't think was supposed to be as good. He's the one
No.
that's at Dayton.
He's in the league.
What is up with middle brothers just not getting the love?
Who else?
Yeah.
D'Angelo?
Yeah. Yeah, Thanasis, I think is a free agent,
Leading the league in steals though.
and then you have
That's because he
Kostas-
stole stuff,
yeah,
folks.
Kostas Antetokounmpo is 19.
It's a joke about the law, folks.
He broke the law.
Yeah,
Stuck in China.
Yeah, Kostas is on Dayton.
China.
Yeah, that's not good for the ball family. I mean, Lonzo did have a
it's great
triple
for
No,
the
double.
that's
brand.
great
It's
for
great
them.
for the brand.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, I think LeVar set this all up.
That's great
Set
for
this all
that's
up.
great for ratings.
He
Yeah,
knows he knows he's not making it to league.
Right,
He
yeah.
said, "You know what?
You're the fall
Let's
guy."
get him arrested out there. He's
All
not coming back."
publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
And
the
they
big
just
baller
launched the Big
mentality.
Baller brand pop-up store in China.
So like
he's just heading that branch. Leangelo's
cred.
just staying there to,
Yeah.
to
He's
just to head
overseeing
that
it.
branch.
Yeah.
Like, he's the director of
perfect.
foreign
It's
relations
perfect.
for Big Baller Brand.
we'll have to see. We're all conspiracy theorists here. As you're listening to Illini
JFK.
Drive here, on WPGU 1071, brought to you by the
Still
Illinois
out
Fighting
there.
Illini. For tickets and info on the Illini, visit
Tupac's
fightingillini.com or call 1-866
on
Illini 1.
Buck's chilling in Cuba.
Yeah, Tupac's definitely out there, right? Ori?
Tupac, he's
done.
yeah.
He's in
Cuba.
Biggie's out there too.
No, I don't know about him.
No.
Tupac's alive though.
Okay, fine. I'll
Tupac used Biggie to make his escape.
yeah, exactly.
True.
Time for my final thought. I've
woke.
got 2. One that's a shout out and one that I'll talk about a little bit more. So John Davis, regional champ in men's cross country, as the Illini finished 4th place in the NCAA Midwest Regionals. So shout out to
Say John Daly for some reason.
no, not John Daly, John
Shout out
Davis.
John Daly.
John Davis,
Friend of the
regional
program.
champ for the Illini. He's going to be going to Louisville for the NCAA championships this upcoming Saturday. In a very busy day for Illini athletics. Men's cross country champs for John Davis, football against Ohio State, women's b-ball against Bradley, and then volleyball with a big match against Minnesota. A lot of Illini action this weekend, and it all actually starts Wednesday when women's basketball takes on Chicago State at State Farm Center. But I want to talk about another insanely insane team that doesn't make
Insanely
insanely insane. That's the only way to describe it. I mean, the United States didn't make the World Cup. Holland didn't make the World Cup. Ivory Coast didn't make the World Cup.
Germany.
Chile didn't make the World Cup. Germany made the World Cup. They make the World Cup every year. Italy, who's never missed the tournament since 1958, are not going to the World Cup. Sweden qualified over them, and it's nuts. I mean, you could have a legitimate World Cup NIT tournament going on with the U.S., Holland, Chile,
I think
Italy.
that the U.S. should set that up.
That would be awesome.
It'd be really cool.
Give them something to do over the summer rather than just watch all these teams that just devoured them over qualifying play in Russia. But man, World Cup qualifying ending on Wednesday. There's just 3 more spots open. You got Ireland and Denmark playing tomorrow for a spot. Australia is looking for a spot against Honduras, and then we got New Zealand against Peru. But this World Cup is going to be so freaking weird. You should still watch it. It's still going to be really exciting, and I cannot wait for it. Nice to see some new blood in there. You know, Morocco qualifying is cool. Seeing Senegal back is cool. Obviously, Iceland. Nice to see Sweden back in the mix. They haven't been there since '06. But, man, no U.S., no Italy, and no Holland. That's just strange.
Give me Ireland.
I don't know. Like,
Oh, Italy doesn't make the World Cup. First reaction. You know Italy's good at soccer.
Viva
I
Azzurri.
honestly don't.
They've won 4 World Cups.
Isn't that something to say? Forza Azzurri or something?
Yeah, Forza Azzurri.
Yeah.
That's their team
I know.
nickname.
Yeah.
Good job.
Talking soccer, folks.
Talking soccer. You gonna watch the Ireland game tomorrow?
I will actually. 1:15, right?
1:45.
I'll be ready. I'll be watching at 1:15 on the channel, ready for it.
All right. I think it's gonna be on Fox Sports Go or
Yeah, I'll watch
FS1.
that.
FS1 probably.
It'll be probably on FS1.
I can't think of the guy's name. I actually was gonna order an Irish soccer jersey. He's number 3.
Number 3 on Ireland.
I think he's their best player.
Ireland roster. Let's find out. The Seamus Coleman. I think he's number 3.
It could.
He
be.
plays for Everton. He's a pretty solid wingback.
He could be.
Kieran Clark.
Yes.
Their captain plays for Newcastle.
Yeah, him. I like him.
He's a good player. They got a good defense.
Yeah, him.
He's 28. He's a up and comer. He's a pretty solid player. But can't go wrong with guys, like Shane Long, Aidan McGeady, Robbie Brady. Obviously, Roy and Robbie Keane are the classic Ireland players. Ireland hasn't been to the World Cup since 2002, where they tied Germany in that tournament.
I remember I was in Ireland in 2006, and there was World Cup going on, or maybe it wasn't during the World Cup, but I remember there was something with Ireland was playing, and I remember all my distant family that we were staying with out there was really upset that they weren't playing in it or something like that.
Yeah, because they had made the previous one in '02. That's the
Yeah.
last time they were there. I would love to see Ireland make the World Cup over Denmark. We don't need another Scandinavian team. I think it'd be really cool, though, if Australia and New Zealand both qualified again. New Zealand hasn't been there since 2010. They were the only undefeated team in the 2010 World Cup. They got 3 ties. They tied Italy that tournament. So technically, they won the World Cup in 2010. The U.S. technically won the World Cup in '06 because they're the only team that didn't lose to Italy, who won that tournament. So Italy, USA won a World Cup, New Zealand won a
Big
World
transitive
Cup.
property guy.
I'm a huge transitive property guy, especially when it comes to soccer. It's all about the transitive property. But yeah, I mean, really weird. Italy didn't qualify. Also, shout out to Gianluigi Buffon, his final game, one of maybe the greatest goalkeeper to
That's a name
ever
right there.
ever play. And Andrea Pirlo is no longer playing, so tough year to be an Italian soccer fan. No World Cup. A lot of the best players in history are retiring, like Pirlo and Buffon. So here for you, Italy. If you want, I'll join in with you since the U.S. is not in there.
Italian soccer Twitter, hit Ori up. He's
Yeah.
here for you.
Yeah.
I imagine if there was, I kind of like wonder if there's some like Italian kid out there who like got on Facebook Live and just like ranted how mad he was that Italy didn't make the World Cup.
I think it's. I mean, the fact that Italy didn't make it over the United States. I mean, the Italy's probably way more pissed off and way more sad about not missing the World Cup than the U.S. Because like for them, missing the World Cup is like what?
They
What do
don't
they?
even have real sports.
They have real sports in Italy. I
It's
mean,
not on our level.
I mean, yeah, but they're gonna have they're 2018. They're looking forward to their skiers in the Winter Olympics and Formula One.
That's what I'm saying.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, they don't have hockey to fall back on. They don't have.
Their baseball team's okay.
They're okay. Anthony Rizzo plays for them.
Yeah, he didn't in the WBC this year, but he did in, I think, 2013. He played for him. Mike Piazza was their batting coach. So,
Awesome. Mike Piazza was so cool.
yeah, bring the WBC back. Can't wait for
Backyard baseball. Mike Piazza.
Mike Piazza back.
Carlos Beltran retired today, last person to appear in the backyard baseball games.
That's true. Yeah, no more Carlos Beltran. That's strange. No Beltran.
Good
That's
for him
weird.
to get the ring though.
True.
Yeah, 9-time All-Star,
As an
3-time
Astro
Gold
fan.
Glove, 2-time Silver Slugger, Rookie of the Year, Roberto Clemente Award winner. One of the most consistent
Good guy.
sluggers in baseball history, I'd say. But that's about it for Illini Drive today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for another edition. For Tommy, for Jake, for Will, I'm Ori Benatar. Thank you for joining us right here on WPGU 107.1, and enjoy the rest of your evening.